What is going on, my fellow entrepreneurs? This is your boy Halvin, and in this video, I'm going to be going over the most frequently asked questions on the things that you should know before pitching a car dealership. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and remember to turn on the notification bell so you can be the first one to be notified every time I upload a YouTube video to my channel filled with a lot of value. If you don't know me yet, as I said, my name is Halvin. I've been working with car dealership for the past 4 or 5 years now. I run a 6-figure Amazon store, and I also teach other people how to produce the same results on Amazon. Remember that if you ever have any questions or any doubts about anything that you see on my YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to message me through Instagram, and I'll be more than glad to guide you on the right direction. So without further ado, let's just get into this topic. The main question that I get is, what is the best way to get in front of these car dealership owners or in front of these general managers? And my first go-to answer is always going to be referrals, because not only are referrals easier to close, but it's easier to build a relationship long-term because of the pre-frame that the referrals had before they contacted you. What I mean by the pre-frame is the mindset that they had before contacting you, because obviously somebody had to refer you to them. Somebody that liked you or liked your services or products had to refer you to that business owner for them to contact you or for you to contact them. And it's just make things a lot easier than if you was to cold outreach them. Now, if you have no previous results, and I'm talking about never ever worked with a dealership, I would recommend you do the same thing that I did when I first got started, which is start out locally. I personally feel, and you're more than welcome to disagree with me on this one, that it's a lot easier to hand someone a check physically, that you can physically see their intentions, than in a stranger that just cold called you and luckily they landed an appointment with you, but then they have no results to show for what they're selling. At the end of the day, remember, these dealerships get tens and tens of these calls every day trying to sell them something. So in my opinion, it's going to be a little bit harder to get people to sign up with you if you have no results to show with that method. Now, after you start getting results, after you start getting testimonials, I would go into cold calling, I would go into digital advertising, I would go into networking events and things of these nature. Direct outreach is really good, but I mean, if you're direct outreach in a dealership, say Facebook, Instagram, wherever they're at, and you get their attention, they start asking you for the things you've done in the past, you get nothing to show, then that's it. That's your opportunity right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel that's a lot better to start out locally in your area, going door to door to these dealerships and showing your true intentions of wanting to help them so you can land a good deal or a starting deal for you to expand your knowledge, and then with that knowledge go and get more dealerships, show them the results that you've been able to get for the past trials or the past dealerships you've been working with, going door to door. And from there, I promise you, that's gonna be a lot easier than if you had nothing to show. The second one, what should you offer a car dealership to get your foot in the door? And I think that one, I would like to respond with, what shouldn't you offer a car dealership to get your foot in the door like a lot of newbies do? And I think that's just, don't offer a guarantee that you can't stand behind, right? Don't offer a promise that you can't fulfill. We see this in a lot of newbies. What a lot of people would do to get their foot in the door is to guarantee a specific amount of sales. And basically what they're doing with this is that they're setting themselves up for failure and shooting themselves in the foot. The reason for this is that there are many variables to a car sale: market price, supply, demand, documentation, money required, follow-up, salespeople, time taken to answer the lead. And those are things that you don't necessarily have a lot of control on, especially if you're starting out. What my agency personally offers car dealerships is an estimated amount of leads with an estimated amount of sales based on the package that they choose, which we base these results based on the numbers that we've been able to see for our clients across the board. Now, if you're new and you're just starting out, don't be scared to lower your prices. Don't be scared to give them a trial where they only have to pay for the Facebook ads, because at the end of the day, that experience that you're gonna get dealing and handling that client is gonna teach you more than the money that you could have made if you wouldn't have given them a percentage of, if you wouldn't have worked for basically free while they cover the ad expenses. I know that there are a lot of people that are against free trials or discounts or yada yada and are against you, or actually want you to charge a big amount of money from the beginning even if you don't have the experience. And the problem with this is that you're very likely to lose a client based on false expectations, when you could have built a long-term relationship with a client. So even if you underperform, they're okay with that because they know that you're just starting out. They're okay with that because you started building a long-term relationship with them. They like you, they know, they believe in you because you were fair with them. And trust me, that's how I got my foot in the door to many of these dealerships that I've worked with. So stop listening to these people that every time this subject is brought up, all they say that Apple doesn't give any discounts, because first, you're not Apple. Second, Apple didn't start a week ago or a month ago or a year ago. You guys get the deal. Which are the best times to try to reach and get in contact with the car dealership owner or a general manager? From personal experience, the things that I tried, the things that worked super well with me, it was either sometime in the early morning or sometime in the late afternoon where they were almost about to close. This allowed me to get past the gatekeepers multiple times without even having to talk to them. Literally just calling, and the owner or car dealership manager would pick it up, and I would literally be speaking with them directly, because most of the times these people are the first one in and the last ones out. So you have more of chances to get with them in contact directly than to be messaging them or calling them and not being able, and always getting the gatekeeper and not being able to actually reach out to them and speak with them directly. But even if you do come across gatekeepers, which you will, it's very easy to get past them. I think I have a cold calling video that I have, and I show you exactly how I do that, and I'll probably leave that link on the description if I do have that video up on YouTube. So the very best times to me, the prime times, few minutes after they open and 30 to 40 minutes before they close. Now, if you take this strategy and you do it on the leads that are really good potential clients, I promise you that you're gonna have high chances of getting in contact with that general manager or dealership owner directly. The next question that I get very often is how to price your services for these dealerships, because obviously they can afford to pay you more than if you're working with a restaurant client, which is true. Now, I personally hate this question. Not that I hate, I just dislike it, because I don't like to tell people how to price their product or services or their business, because I find it a little bit disrespectful. My recommendation is to go below the market price if you're starting out, so you can have a slight competitive advantage against the big players in that niche, and then you can build credibility from there. Now, how do you find what market price is for the service that you're providing? Google. You're not the only agency here in the United States, so I'm sure you're gonna be able to find a lot of different agencies on Google that are offering the same thing you are. So go see their prices, what they're offering, and if you can match that at a lower price, I promise you that's a good competitive advantage if you're starting out. Another topic that I come across a lot is the ability to be able to track sales. If you're not able to track sales, you're in big trouble, because the big part of this business is for your client to know exactly how much money you're bringing them in so that they know that your service is valuable and that they can stay with you for a very long time, and you can upsell them on other packages that you might have. And this is really easy if they have a CRM, because you can use softwares like Zapier to basically transfer the leads over to the CRM and then make sure they tag with your company's name so that they know that it came from you. If they don't have a CRM, then one of the things that you should do is to either set up a CRM for them, so that way you're bringing in more value, even more value to them, or you can set up something as simple as a Google Sheets where you're delivering your own leads to that they're seeing in there, and that way they can keep track of the sales, they can keep track of the leads, the follow-up, and they can market when they make a sale. And then also you know which campaigns, which ad sets, which ads are working better and which ones should you double down on, so you can start getting them more results. Because my motto is over deliver and under promise. Well, under promise and over deliver. Now that we got that part covered, how do we generate quality leads? Or what is the best way to generate quality leads for these dealerships? There are definitely multiple objectives that you can use to drive leads to your clients, like Messenger if you're using a chatbot, like conversions if you're using funnels, the traffic objective, Facebook lead forms. But to me, in my opinion, and what I've been able to see for my dealership, what's been working the best is conversions, so driving people to a funnel. This has allowed me to increase the quality of my leads and has allowed me to do some pretty cool stuff with them to nurture them along the way. But that's another topic for another video. A lot of people do opt in to do Facebook lead forms, but from my experience, the time that I spend on Facebook Ad Manager on a daily basis, the thousands of dollars that I spend on Facebook advertising, the quality that I get from that, it's not as good as when I drive people to a good funnel. Audiences, who do you target for these clients, and what's your targeting strategy for car dealerships? And before Facebook's regulations and Facebook updates, this was a very straightforward question, as you can literally target somebody that was in the market for a vehicle within a certain time frame. But now with Facebook categories and for dealerships, real estate, people that, employment ads and things like that, it's a bit more difficult, because before, as I said, you can literally place your ads in front of actual car buyers without having to guess, because this was actually a targeting behavior option. Facebook already knew who was a car buyer and when were they in the market for, even if they never interacted with your company. Now you have to relay in kind of like vague interests like motor vehicles, automobiles, sedans, SUVs, and so forth and so on, which don't necessarily tell you if a person is in the market for a vehicle or not. Another great targeting option is custom audiences based on the past sales the dealership have gotten. Remember, the more information that you give Facebook on this audience, the better job they're going to be doing to fetch people that are look-alike these audience that bought from your dealership client before, right? So give them as much information as you can, especially on these sales custom audiences. Page engagers work alright, and if you can make another custom audience based on what you're doing with your funnel, that could possibly give you good results as well. The last question, Facebook versus Instagram. Which one do I prefer? I personally prefer Facebook, because most of the time an older person is going to be finalizing a car purchase, because most of the times a younger person has new credit, either don't have the whole amount of money for a down payment, or just don't make enough to get qualified for the loan, so they gotta get a co-signer, and most of the time it's gonna be somebody older finalizing that car sales for them. Now, last time I checked, I read that the average age of a used car buyer is 42, if I'm not mistaken, and these are people that are more likely to be on Facebook than on Instagram, because Instagram still has a younger type of audience. This was it for this video, fellas. If you like videos like these, please let me know in the comment section. If there's any other topic you want me to touch on, please let me know. Remember, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it a lot. Give it a like, help me with the YouTube's algorithm. And remember to turn on the notifications bell to get notified every time I upload content like this. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video.